Well, listen, we are not women, but not yet. Wait, what was the?
I'm not a girl.
We are not girls, but not yet a woman. But we will continue. We will continue trying. Listen, I just ate and like I'm hot and like my room is not cooling like it's been cooled before, but it's also gross outside.
It's really gross and nasty and humid. Yeah. I've been outside literally all day until I got here. I've been running around, running errands, did my grocery shopping, went to the gym.
Yeah, you chose the worst day to do grocery shopping. It's disgusting.
Well, Saturday would be worse because everybody has off, so that's when everybody fucking does it. So Trader Joe's was going to be insane. It was already kind of insane today, but I was in and out within like I would say like 20 minutes. I was in and out in 20 minutes because I had my list. I knew exactly what I needed to get. I got all my stuff, made it back, and I spent less than I thought I was going to. I gave myself $100 limit.
Oh my God, so only chicken tenders and fries?
No, bitch.
Any greens in your grocery list?
Yes, I got Brussels sprouts. I got a spring mix.
We love
a spring mix. I got a frozen turkey burgers. I got Alaskan cod. I got chicken.
Oh my God. Well, I will give Nick some credit because last time that I was hungry and when recording at his place, he had like a frozen Trader Joe meal, and if any of you all are like just entering college or just starting to do groceries or maybe quite simply, I don't know. I mean, listen.
I love the butter chicken and the fiery chicken curry frozen meals from Trader Joe's. Yes. And I trust and believe I bought 2 of those.
The chicken tikka masala frozen meal. If you want to get a frozen meal, you're in a budget and you have a Trader Joe's nearby, it's literally like $6 each, I think.
No, I think it's like less than that. It's like $4.
Yeah, and like they are literally delicious frozen meals. It's not garbage. It's really good stuff. So if you need suggestions, now this podcast is grocery suggestions.
I stocked up on cantaloupe and strawberries because I love a cantaloupe.
And you stocked up on eggplant.
No, I didn't. I didn't get any eggplant.
No, it's a sex joke.
I know, but
okay.
I stocked up earlier this week on that. I got 2 different instances. I got 2 big eggplant.
Well, yeah, please make your first eggplant mini eggplant and the second one your main eggplant. Okay?
We don't need the attitude.
All right, I'm Pioneer Peru.
I'm Trailblazer Nick. This is Pioneers and Trailblazers. The reason that Peru is giving me attitude is because I already told him I had sex twice this week. Well, actually, sex once and then a hookup. No anal was had, but I told him the first story and he doesn't want to have to hear it again for some reason.
Because last time that happened here, then you ended up going on tangents within the same story, and then you had a second story, and then I was just like, okay, well, I'm okay having a Nick-centric episode, but not for you to tell 2 stories.
He's trying to silence queer voices.
I am not.
Let's.
And you're trying to silence brown voices. How about that?
No, because you didn't have anything to say. What were you?
Interesting. Oh.
You were just upset.
So you're saying brown people have nothing to say? Wow.
Not what I said.
And listen, speaking of silencing others, I wanted to open with this one comment we got on our Insta that I hadn't seen because we both can check like the Insta account. So like I didn't get the notification of this because trust and believe I check everything. And 99% of the time it's me responding.
You'll know if it's from me because I'll sign off Nick.
No, but you said Nick, or I also do like sometimes I like fake sign on you. Sorry to say, Diva.
You do?
But, no. If they're not asking for you specifically, or they comment something about you, then of course I respond from the 2 of us, mutually. I think.
Oh, but it's you.
Does that make sense? Like they're talking about something you specific, but I know you're never gonna give the time or the effort to go look. So then I'm responding on our behalf through.
No, I've seen that. But I thought you were saying that you were signing off like Nick.
No. And if I want to make sure that the townsperson knows that it's me, I will put like --Peru.
Oh, I always, whenever it's me commenting, because when the townspeople were
counting with your fingers
when they were clowning you on your ring.
Listen, don't clown my ring. This ring is beautiful. It's gorgeous.
For context, for those who don't remember,
it's better. Also, the photo that I posted on the Instagram for Pioneers and Trailblazers. Follow us if you don't follow us already. It was just a random photo I took of me finding it. It wasn't the ring being showcasing its best.
So, and for context, for those who don't remember or maybe didn't listen to the episode, Peru thought he had his gold ring stolen from a trick that came over to his apartment, and I was trying to tell him over and over again, there's no way someone was going to try to steal that from you. And I said, where's the proof? How do we know? After your whole jewelry section that you have over in the corner of your room, how do you know that a person went, oh, I'm going to take that and that only and dip out?
The way you made it sound was that I'm like, whatever. No, I have different taste in rings. Like, I don't talk about your rings.
No, but I'm just saying, the idea that someone stole it, you were so dead set on it. And I said, why don't we try to look around our...
Yeah, but you were going about it a different way. You were like, no one's going to steal that ring.
Well, then the townspeople did comment, and they said Nick was right.
And listen, I mean, I will say the townspeople... Some of the townspeople, just like in any town, just might not really know much about taste.
Oh, so you're calling the townspeople dumb?
I didn't say anything.
I
didn't say
they may not know anything about taste.
I said they might. They might not. I said they might not. Who knows? It's more about, I don't know who they were. I don't know what they look like. You know, like it may have been, you know, maybe they didn't see properly.
No, one of your fearless leaders, not me, thinks that you guys lack taste.
No, and actually, a good leader will not lie to you. It will tell you things to your face. Like just 10 minutes ago, I was telling my sister Nick some hard truths. Okay, I was giving her some. Oh, and now she silences herself because she knows.
I start crying.
Also, because I did read Nick, because I don't know if y'all remember. Also, we're like mentioning a lot of like previous episodes or whatever. But last time Nick tried to read a DM from a townsperson, it took him 5 I think I even edited it because it took 5 tries, no enthusiasm, no, like, for cold reads, girl. So I was like, I'm gonna take care of reading as I always do, because last time you read, love you sis, down, but it wasn't your bag.
And to which I replied, fuck you, because in 3rd grade I won the gold medal for reading, and which I was allotted and praised by my peers as well as my teachers for being so intellectual and reading so many books and having a near perfect score in every single accelerated reading test that I took on them. So, you know.
Okay, maybe just you're not good at cold reading, perhaps. And that's okay. You're incredibly skilled at so many things.
Read the fucking comment.
So I want to read a comment that somebody made that Nick didn't even care to mention this person commenting this on one of our photos.
I forgot.
Like, these are not things that I would forget. And for that, vote Peru on the next town election, which is coming up the day after the general election. So we're having an election here on the pod.
It's gonna be in the polls.
It's gonna be in the polls. It's like, who are you gonna vote for? And then there's gonna be undecided.
And that wins by overwhelming.
I know, they're gonna be like, we don't fucking know. So at Paradise Cross 5 weeks ago wrote, y'all, I was visiting New York City last week, and on my first night in town, my friend took me to a French restaurant, and little did I know I would see you in Peru. Speaking about Nick. Oh, I think this is on your Instagram.
This is like on my personal Instagram, yes.
I was too stunned to speak and wish I had. The food was good, but couldn't stop thinking about your arch nemesis and what went down there. LOL. I hope to be back soon. So thank you so much, townsperson, for commenting.
Thank you.
I guess even if you comment on Nick, I hope you follow me. Unless you hate me, then that's okay. I cannot believe I was freaking out a few episodes ago about some other Freudian slip from the place that we work at. Somebody already knows where we work.
Well, yeah, girl. I mean, that's what happens when you're famous.
And it is crazy because, like, not for nothing. I mean, is our restaurant located in, like, a semi-touristy location?
Yes.
Yes, but by association. It's because it's near a couple very touristy things.
My question, though, is how
not
do they...
because, like, the streets in which we're working at are any touristy at all. It's just because it's on the way to a couple very touristy things.
My question was how did they see me, though?
It was probably one of those times in which you inevitably have to come up from your hole and from the closet we keep you at, and you just come upstairs to, like, get this lips or whatever, and then Nick just, like, stands there without wanting to do anything else but stand there. Doesn't want to help seat any tables.
That's not my job.
Yeah, but also, like, when I tell you, you literally go on. I'm like, okay, Nick, do you want to sit that table? That's table 63 over there. It's literally just 2 steps. He's like, what? Which one? Is that one? Okay.
Because I'm not in practice.
Sure. Although I will say lately you have been serving looks, and so I'm much more proud to have you up there whenever you do come up there.
Wow. I always serve looks. Fuck you, bitch.
But I mean, I think...
Why is it the hate on Nick episode?
It's not. I mean, you're about to get loved down. But anyway, I just thought it was really interesting that out of coincidence, a townsperson literally stepped into our restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time it's happened.
Well, I mean, we've been recognized at work, and it was funny because our friend Thomas, who's not a friend of the pod, who's not a town council
Actually, is an
member,
arch nemesis of the pod. He's actively...
he's one of the ones you're referring to. I got recognized from Michelle Collins' podcast and from Pioneers and Trailblazers at the door, and Thomas almost ordered a gin martini to relapse and kill himself. Like, it was crazy.
That's so funny. I wish I would have been there for that.
Well, thank you for, I now wanted to acknowledge that I did reply to you, but thank you for, next time say hello to us. We're not, Julius, it's happened before. Like, we're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until we become really famous and I'll ignore everyone.
No, I'll be so nice. I'll be like, thank you. I'll start crying. I'll be like, thank you. Is there another town hall or?
This is good, and I feel like there was this one that made me laugh. That I thought would be a really cute icebreaker.
Okay.
This is from ad Vose ad Vose Basca, townsperson. Hello. Question: are women allowed to call people twink? Is that offensive? Like, are they allowed you refer to someone as a twink? Would that be non-ally? That's the question.
I have a lot of women friends who use the word twink.
Mm-hmm.
And I think but it's because they have a lot of gay friends that they spend their times with, so they're like pretty integrated into the culture. So they have
vernacular.
They have an understanding of, when to use it, and they use it properly.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like if it's just gonna be like a woman who just looks at a gay guy and she's like twink, and it's very clearly not one, then it's like, girl, it's like that's it's like know what the word means before you use it.
Well, it's kind of like I feel like I would venture out and say that like no straight white woman who has no relation to like the LGBTQIA community is gonna be aware of like the term twink. It's not even being thrown. I think it's maybe being thrown around more like maybe via the housewives, or like they're hearing it out of maybe like on the peripherals of their community, or what they're like, or
they're seeing it used online by other people
on the comments, and then they're like, oh, like what do we,
you're like, oh, that's like that's referring to gay people. Okay, so then they call every gay person a twink. No, it's like if you wanna use certain words or phrases that are very prominent in queer culture, in the vernacular, I feel like you should at least be somewhat immersed in that culture to be able to use it in a respectful way.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm going to double down on what this person said because it relates. What do you think of the term fag hag?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, do you think it's a term that we should still use? Do you think it's a term that's offensive towards a woman who is an ally to gay people? Or do you think it's a term of endearment to call a girl a fag hag?
Well, I think I have one friend in particular who
is a fag hag?
Is very much a hag, and she like loves...
Well, also, if you're not a fag, you cannot say the word fag. So, that's... Just addendum on that one real quick.
Yeah.
we can say fag hag.
Yeah, but you can just say hag. You can just say I'm a hag.
Now, if you are bestowed the title fag hag, then I guess you can use the word fag.
If you're given permission.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think listen, it's I
say yes. Vote Peru.
I think we should just be a little tiptoe a little bit when it comes to the slurs, cause listen, we as queer people get to say faggot.
Yeah, thanks for including me on that one. Like, I appreciate it. For visual learners, I don't know if you saw it, but he said as queer people, pointing to himself. Didn't even include me.
Well, we as queer people get to say.
Yeah.
Well, that means I see you as straight.
Thank you. I am wearing a Harley Davidson shirt.
Yeah, it's giving straight woman.
Yeah. Mechanic.
It's giving biker wife. It's giving
biker. Can I say that? Yeah, I can say that. I can say dyke, right?
I don't know.
It's actually a good question.
I've heard mixed things about the use of gay men using
from lesbians themselves. Yeah, for example, like our friend Elise was like, "Oh my god, you should definitely use it,"
And I think it also just like depends on like know your audience.
Yeah. That is probably the best advice in this in general. Know your audience.
Yeah, no, literally.
Yeah.
But yeah, you look like you're about to send your husband off and all of his like leather wearing like biker friends off to like go on their like cross country road trip, and they're all gonna be fucking each other, but you have absolutely no idea. But you do kind of know, but you just like choose to ignore it.
I have an inkling
because you love him.
Because I'm too busy.
Wait, and also you just love your man.
I love a man. I used to have a manager at an old restaurant I used to work at. Her name was Valerie, and
Shout out.
and she was a fucking bitch and a cunt to me. So I actually will air her ass out. Valerie, you sucked. But she was known as the fag hag of this fucking restaurant because she would always go out with all the gays at work. She would only go out with the gays. Like, her wedding, I think her entire like maid of honors was just like gay men.
Oh, work.
Like, but they would like, she was like, I'm a fag hag. Like, she would like go up to you and be like, well, not but to me because she hated me, but she would go up to everyone else and
Rightfully
be like,
so, I'm sure.
Yeah, she was like, I'm the restaurant's fag hag. Like, I only hang out. She would only go to gay bars. She would only go dance and party with them. So she was like very proud of being a fag hag.
Me as hell. I hate straight men. Like, why would you hang out with them ever?
You're a fag hag because you really don't see yourself as a gay man.
I see myself as like, I don't know, there's sometimes like it depends on, it's like certain gay men I'm around and I'm like, oh, we're different. I'm like, we're not like
Like at Soho House.
Yes, there I felt like a hag. When I was at Soho House,
we were your fags and you were the hag.
and I was like, no, and I literally was like, I felt like a chaperone. Like, I felt like I was like the parent or
Good luck, babe.
the teacher chaperone, like, just like be like, okay guys, okay, we had our fun, now let's get back, let's go back to like what we were doing.
With your like bus vest you were wearing, like, okay guys.
It was like biking shirt.
Is it bike? Well, it looked like a bus.
It was a cycling top.
I thought it was like an image of a bus.
There's a red
There was some yellow.
Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh, that's
on
what
the
it is.
cover,
That's what it is. On the
yeah.
cover.
On the cover of the front.
On the cover of the vest.
It wasn't a vest. It was, like I said, it's a tank top. It's a cycling top.
Whatever. But I guess to answer the question, yeah, I would venture to say within your community, if it's like within that space, I think it's completely, if anything, it is a sign of allyship. If like a straight person or a woman is just like, oh my god, so like you're a twink, or it's, categorizing somebody as a twink, or you're like talking about somebody and she's just like, oh yeah, he's like a twink. You wouldn't be into him, if she's trying to like, you're like, oh, you have any friends, whatever.
Yeah, and if you hear someone misusing that word, feel free to educate.
Yeah, and I guess we're fag hag. It's like we're like just hag, I guess.
I think hag is just easier because like,
and on the D word, which by the way I said just for like educational purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess know your audience. And this is my town and it's my family, so I feel safe using it.
Everyone starts picketing and rioting. All the lesbians.
Speaking of rioting, I guess I will probably be rioting this podcast by the time you finish your stories.
Oh my god, relax. So so let's get into it because I haven't had sex in a minute. I sent a clip of from Gossip Girl, if anyone remembers, Georgina going, tell Jesus that the bitch is back. Mm-hmm. Very much the era that I was in for this week because
Michelle Trachtenberg, love you,
made famous by Ice Princess.
Oh my god! And then she was also in that other movie when she was younger. She was been acting for a while, like 13. She was like an investigator or something. She was like the outsider girly.
She's also in Mysterious Skin.
And she was also my favorite TV show of all time, 6 Feet Under. She played a pop star who was trying to fuck the gay security guard.
For only one episode?
Oh, no, she had like an arc. Yeah, she had like 4 episodes.
I only watched the first season, but I watched maybe only the first.
Best TV show of all time.
Anyway, so Saturday I had sex with a man who I had met 2 years ago outside Boiler Room, rest in peace, to that location. Well, that location. And it was really funny because I was with you, mm-hmm. and I was like standing outside, and I had like called an Uber or whatever, and I was smoking a joint. And wait, what did you do? What were you doing?
Just checking it's there.
Oh, you wanted to interrupt my story to like make yourself the star?
I just wanted to make sure.
Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna start over. We'll cut that.
Wow.
Because there's an interruption. Okay, so it all starts on Saturday. I get hit up by this man previously in the week on Grindr who I had met outside Boiler Room. Rest in peace. When I was standing outside, I was smoking a joint. He was exiting the bar. I was drunk out of my mind. So I like don't remember I didn't remember really what he looked like. But as he's walking past me, he like turns back and he goes, "Hey, you're hot." And I was like, "Thank you." And he was like, "Yeah, of course." And then just kept walking and left. And I was like, "What?" Cut to 2 days after that, he finds me on Grindr and was like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad I found you on Grindr. Like, I would love to take you out for a drink sometime." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure, ha ha ha." He's married, they're open, whatever. But then he travels for his job. Like, he has a very high power job. He goes international places across the, like, you know, different countries all the time. So our schedules never lined up until this past Saturday. He had hit me up and he was like, what are you doing this weekend? Would love to see you. And I was like, oh, like, I can come over on Saturday if you want to hang out. He lives really close to NYU, like the whole campus. And I was like, oh my God, walking down memory lane as I was going there. And I get to his building and he was waiting. He's like, oh, I'll meet you outside and I'll bring you up. He's like, because like the doorbell can be a little weird. I was like, okay, sure. So I meet him outside. He's way more attractive than his pictures that he sent me, but he was still attractive in his pictures.
Well,
and he like greets me or whatever. We go up to his apartment. We're talking about our days and stuff. I walk into his apartment. Oh, girl, he got money. It was such a cute apartment. I was like, this is a dream. Like, the view that he had a corner apartment. So like his living room was like,
not the West Village though. No, not the NYU area.
it's like Greenwich Village.
I thought it was Soho.
No.
You said Soho.
No.
Oh.
I'm not going to say what street he lives on, but it's not Soho. It's definitely not Soho. But it was such a cute apartment. It was huge. And then he welcomes me in, gets me a glass of water. His kitchen, they must have, it looks like they put a lot of money into their apartment, which is nice. I was like, it's so gorgeous. And then we hook up. He pounds me out, Tiva. I was kind of nervous because I had a fissure earlier. I talked about it a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh God, I felt like I was on the tail end of it. I was like, okay, whatever. And his dick wasn't that big. It was very boyfriend dick size. It was kind of perfect. But he was dom top, and he was like, oh, I really want to pound you. Is that okay? And I was like, yeah, of course. And so he ate my ass for so long, and he was like, you like that? And I was like, yeah, of course. And I was sucking his dick. We were in 69. He was eating my ass. I was sucking his dick. And then he made me stop sucking his dick because he was so close, and he's like, no, I want to fuck you. He held my hands behind my back, and I'm sitting on his face, and he just was he was just eating it like his life depended on it. And he kept being like, is that good? And I was like, yeah, oh my God, keep going. And so then he wanted to fuck me, and he's like, oh, how should we start? And I said, let me ride you first. And so I'm hella tight.
Because it's so big.
Well, also because I'm also just hella tight, and also just got over a fissure. So then I was like, okay. So I'm kind of slowly lowering on it, and I'm like, I'm like, wait, no. And mind you, before I got there, I was fucking myself with a dildo in the shower, my anal training kit. I was like, we're going to be stretched out so I don't hurt myself. So I was already kind of stretched out, but I was still a little tight. And so then, because he's girthy, it wasn't long, super long, I would say 6.5, you know, but he had some girth to him. And so then I was like, oh, I have poppers I brought, and he goes, oh no, I have some if you need. And so then before I even hit the poppers, he was talking to me. He's like, take your time, whatever. And he just made me feel so comfortable in that moment that immediately my hole opened, and I just went onto the dick. And then he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah. And then I took a hit of poppers because I just wanted to hit poppers. And then I was riding the dick. And then he was like, oh, I want to fuck you, doggy. And then he was pounding that shit out. He was like, it's so wet. It's so wet. You hear that? It's so wet. And I was like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's so wet. And then he dicked me down. And then he kept checking in and be like, am I not hurting you? Am I? And I was like, no, keep going. And then
you were like, no.
No. And then he jerked me off until I came. While he was inside of me, and then he fucked me until he finished. And it was there was this moment, I told you this, but I want to tell the townspeople because I think I discovered a new kink of mine per se, but and maybe it is a brat summer. And I was feeling really bratty because what I was doing was we were he wanted to, so he was pounding me, and then we went back to me riding him, and then we I had finished because he jerked me off while I was riding him. And then he was like, okay, I want to come in you in missionary. And I said, great, okay, cool. But then I got off the dick, and then we were making out or whatever. But then the makeout session was getting so hot and heavy. He was like, wait, can I put it in? And he was asking me my permission. And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, please. And he was begging me for it. And I was like, well, let's see. And I was slowly just kind of rubbing my hole on it, but not putting it in. And he was freaking out. He's like, please, you're gonna make me, please just let me put it in, please. And I was like, wait, I kind of like this. Yeah. And then I finally put it in, and he was like, oh, thank you. And then I was like, yeah, good boy.
You told him good boy?
When he was fucking me missionary, when he came, he was like, oh, I'm gonna come. I was like, yeah, just like that. Yeah, be a good boy. Keep coming me. And then he did. And I was like, wait. great. And then I really enjoyed. And then afterwards, we like just like laid in his bed and had a lovely conversation. He then gave me some different like sweets that he got while he was in the UK, and he was like, "Do you want?" He's like, "Try these. These are my favorite chocolates." And I was like, "Okay." We ate all of his candy, which I love. And then I like got dressed and like went home and had a lovely day. I went for a walk. Went on a walk around like Washington Square Park afterwards.
That's
like,
when we talked.
Yeah, because then I called Peru because I was like, "Oh, listen to this," because like.
And you know what? Just as a quick reminder for you, Nick, you eating the UK candy after you got pounded out, that is a definition of a treat. Not what you do for yourself every day at 3:40 p.m. when we work. Those are not treats. What you eating that candy? Oh, that's a treat, mama. You got pounded out. You earned it. That's a treat. Not whatever you're giving yourself as a treat Monday through Friday.
Again,
please continue.
Again, why is this the Let's Attack Nick episode? Oh my god!
I'm teaching
Kick
my
me
sister.
while I'm down, why don't you?
Honey, you're kicking you while you're writing it.
You know, after what I went through this morning. You're gonna kick me while I'm down.
Listen, I'm very happy to discuss it with the townspeople.
I'm not ready to discuss it yet.
Because guess what, Ada? I didn't even read one of the suggestions that the townsperson gave because it was you would cry.
Oh no, what is it about delusions? Okay. Anyway.
Okay. So
that was Saturday. That was a lovely time. I will see that man again. He really wants to do mushrooms together and fuck. He's like, oh, he was like, oh, I like get mushrooms whenever I go to DC. He's like, you can get them at dispensaries. It's legal there. And he's like, have you ever had sex on mushrooms? And I was like, maybe I've never done mushrooms before. And he goes, oh, like I get like a little mushroom chocolate. He's like, if you dose it like really minimal, he's like, you'll have like a amazing time. He's like, if you want to do it together sometime. I said, sure. And so then. Cut to Tuesday. This is the story that Miss Prue doesn't know, so we'll get a live reaction from her.
I'm back.
So Tuesday, I'm looking good. I'm feeling hot.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up. I was looking so hot.
I didn't see you Tuesday, actually.
Yeah. I was looking good. And so I was looking hot. I was feeling horny, and I was like, okay. And I was on Grindr or whatever, and I wasn't anticipating on having a hookup that night. But this older gentleman hits me up on the apps on Grindr.
Age, please.
He was 69. And yep, hold for applause. And he hits me up, and like his photos did look like a little grainy.
Title of it. He was 69.
Well, I got 69 Saturday, and then fuck 69 Tuesday. We got double 69.
Double 69.
Mm-hmm. We'll come up with something.
Okay.
And so then he hits me up and he was like, "Hey, like, how's it going?" Whatever. But he opened with, because my Grindr photo is a shirtless photo of myself in which I'm giving. Okay. And he responded with, "Oh, who's like great nips and hot pecs," and I was like, "Thank you so much."
Okay, I don't like where this is going already.
I said, "Thank you so much. I'm glad that you like." And he goes, yeah. And I was like, super hot. He was like, would love to go to town on those. And I was like, oh, sure. Okay. And so then we're chit-chatting, and he's telling me that he lives like literally like 5-minute walk from the restaurant that we work at. And I was like, okay. And he was like telling me he asked me like what I was doing the following night for Wednesday night. And I said, oh, I work again until like 11. He goes, I'm seeing a show, but if you want to come over after, would love to like hang out. And I said, yeah, like of course. And then I was still at work, and then he kind of like stopped responding for a period of time. And then like an hour later, he was like, oh, sorry, I got caught up with something. He was like, honestly, he's like, because we exchanged nudes, because we were like talking about like what we wanted to do. He's like, oh, I was like, well, what are you into? And he was like, oh, would love to, like play with your nips. He's like, I love getting head. I love to suck dick. He was like, I'm a top if it gets dom top if it gets there. And I was like, great.
He's a dom top.
Yeah.
Okay, 69.
No, and he kept it tight. Okay, he's hot. Like I didn't think from his photo, I thought he was like 50, like 52 or something. Like he didn't look, but maybe that's from when those photos were. But
yeah, I mean, when you're gonna get to that.
I'll get there. But then he messaged me. He goes, honestly, like looking at your photos and thinking about it, he's like, there's no better time than the present. Do you want to come over after work tonight? And I was
okay,
like,
wordsmith.
Well, and here's the thing. And so then because I wasn't expecting to meet up with this man, my shift was like kind of like ending soon, so I popped 2 edibles, well, like 2 10 milligrams. So I was like, I'm gonna go home. I want to relax. Like I have a lovely night, and so I had already taken those, which is more than I normally do. Like if I'm gonna take an edible these days, it's like 15 milligrams. I did 20, and so because 20 gets me like pretty fucked up these days because I took a break for a while. And so then I was like, well, maybe we can like hook up and it'll be quick before like the edible hits or whatever. So I get family meal, I eat it, I clock out, I go to this man's place. I'm like, I'm on my way, and he goes, great. He's like, I'm so excited. He has a dog. He was like,
you didn't prep?
Well, we weren't planning. He just said, come over so I can play with those nips and like suck dick.
Oh, gotcha.
So we were just going to do oral and like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's totally fine. And because I wasn't prepared to have anal. And so then he has a dog. He's like, oh, I'm going to keep, the dog's like in the bathroom. Like he's locked in there. He's like, it's totally fine. Don't worry about it. I said, okay, great. That's like whatever. And then he was like, I'll meet you outside. Great. I walk up to the building and I was like, hey. And he's like, hey. And he's like very kind of like, I looked him up. He's like, he has a job in theater, because I gave him my phone number because his profile kind of gave me, not like sketch vibes, but there wasn't a whole lot of information, and he told me like what he did for his job, and I was like, okay, that seems like a normal person job, but I wanted to like find his Instagram just to be like, is he crazy, or like, are these photos really old, like what's the vibe? Or
let's be honest, his Facebook.
Yeah. Whatever. No, I found his Instagram because then, so I said, because when he said, do you want to, there's no time like the present, let's meet tonight. I said, here's my number if that's easier. And then he texted me, he's like, oh, it's so hot, you gave me your number. I was like, oh, so he's like an old dude. Like you finding that hot? Okay. And so then obviously I reversed phone searched him, got his full legal name. And then I was like, oh, great. Found his Instagram. Everything he told me was true. The job that he has, true. Like everything. Found his Instagram. His photos were fairly recent. He just uses an Android. That's why it's grainy.
Sure.
And so then because when I met up with him, I was like, oh, he looks good. I was like, he looks good. He looks like his pictures. And he's like very kind of like, he works in theater, but he was like very kind of like gruff and masculine in like a way that I wasn't expecting.
Wait, I think this is the one that you showed me, right? With the silver hair?
Yes, I sent you the picture.
Okay, yes, I will say yes. I guess who would play her if we were going to do that? We keep forgetting to do that.
Wait,
who would
let me
play?
see. I need to look at the photo just to like see.
Who would play her? Think of like an olive to tan skinned gentleman. He's got silver hair. He doesn't have an Android, actually. He has an iPhone.
Well, whatever.
So
he's got a goatee.
Goatee. Who would play her?
That's a really good question.
We're so bad at this.
I know.
We're like,
I normally because I don't care about like male actors.
He's not doing this face.
He's giving bare face.
He's giving. What'd you say?
Yeah, this is him. Full legal name. This is his number.
Okay, it's for 69. He does look
good.
For 69.
Who would play her? It's like it's like if I don't know. I really don't know. I'm bad at this.
I'm so bad. Y'all, townspeople, y'all always find who would play her. Like,
I'm not good at it because I don't care. Like, actresses, I know down. Male actors, I literally could not give less of a fuck about. Like, literally don't know any of their names. I guess if Matt Damon and like no. Listen. If Matt Damon and Chris Hemsworth, like grandfather, like if you morph them together and they like older.
Girl, I couldn't tell you how far away from that this fucking man is.
I disagree. But anyway, so.
And that's not even like a read. I'm just saying like, no, he's giving, you know what? I'm going to give like just an idea that he's giving like, I don't know.
Like a small, like, not super famous, like, character actor from New York would, like, play him. You know what I mean? Like, I can't think of any celebrity, like, big celebrity that looks like him.
Yeah, okay. We might have to cut around this, because we're really just getting stuck on this one.
So anyway, we say hi, he welcomes me into his apartment. His apartment is, under construction, and we walk in or whatever, and then he pours me a glass of water, and we're like chit-chatting. He's a little awkward. Like he's not like much of a conversationalist at first, and I thought maybe it was just because like he's nervous or something, because he was kind of giving me that he was nervous. And so then we like walk in or whatever, and he like sits down on his bed. He's giving silver. And see, you might not like this, which is to say how we describe people, like it's completely in the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. See, because what I'm just thinking is he looks like if
Joe Rogan had silver hair, was perhaps a little more jokey and less serious, and like I said, he's giving like, you know, his facial expression in his photos, like, you know, he's taking like his photo like this, you know, so he's trying to be like cool and like hip and whatever. So he's giving like almost like he could do like he could be going to like open mics. He kind of gives that vibe, you know. He has like some good stories about like being a man of a certain age, you know. I don't know. He's giving like Joe Rogan adjacent with silver hair and like a better body.
Sure.
But same body type, I would say. I think
sure. I guess I kind of agree. If Joe Rogan was like a silver daddy,
and like was not a piece of shit.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're like sitting on, he's like then goes to like change the music, and he has just like some like YouTube like 10-hour long like thing playing on his like TV, and so he like turns the music up a little bit. It's just like ambient music or whatever, and all of a sudden we're sitting on the edge of his bed or whatever, and he's like what does he do? He took off his shoes or something, and then he like has me stand up, and then he just like makes me stand just like in front of him, and then he just starts like lightly touching my nipples through my shirt.
Okay, I already know what's happening.
And so then I was like, oh, okay, and then I go to try to like touch his nipples because I'm like, well, he's doing this to me, I'm gonna like give it back. And then I'm like, ooh, and then immediately he's like, and I was like, oh. I was like, okay, and then I was like, okay, like I'm gonna pull back a little because like it seems like they're sensitive, and then he then was like, oh no, just give me a second, and then like takes my arms and like puts them behind my back, and he's just like focusing on me, and then we start making out. He's a good kisser or whatever, and then he takes off my shirt, and then he starts playing with my nipples more and is like pinching them and like whatever, getting his like licks his fingers or whatever. And here's the thing, my nipples are not sensitive. I have no feeling. Like, there's nothing. Like, it does nothing for me. Like, the only time my nipples get hard when it's cold. Like, not when I'm turned on, nothing happens to them. Like, that's not my experience. That's not my thing. Yeah. Unfortunately, like, my body doesn't work that way.
It's like your dick. It just goes soft.
Yeah, but like at least I have feeling in my dick. Like at least I get, you know, like I get pleasure from when people give me attention there, versus my nipples don't care. And so then he's like whatever playing with them and stuff and like whatever, and then he takes off his shirt. So then I'm playing I see his nipples for the first time.
The reveal. The nipple reveal.
Mama, I have never seen nipples that protrude that far out before in my life. Like I've seen it in porn. I have not seen it in person. These nipples that he had, Mama, like were sticking straight out. They were hard, sticking straight out, and it was like the only way I can describe it is like it was as if like he was a woman who was breastfeeding. Like the nipple, like it just like pokes out, like, you know, ready to like suck, get the milk out kind of thing was what it looked like.
Are you saying they were long or they were just wide or big? Like
no. It was like a normal sized nipple, but like the whatever the teat part.
The teat was long
and hard and poking out and like whatever. And every time I touch
like a cow.
Every time I touch it, he'd be like, like it was so intense. Like it seemed for this man. And so then I'm like, well. I didn't know if like he was enjoying it because like the way that he was moaning was very like mixed. And so then anyway, we're making out and stuff. He's like pinching my nipples and then he's like licking them and biting them and stuff. And then I was like, okay, like whatever. Like I'm not really getting anything out of this, but he seems to really be enjoying himself. And then he starts sucking my dick. I go, great. I get on my knees. I start sucking his dick. And then he was obsessed. He's like, yeah, baby, just like that. He goes, oh, that's so good. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good.
His breath? What's happening?
No, like it was like so like contained. He was like, and then he'd be like quiet. It'd be like silent, and then all of a sudden he'd be like, "Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah, that's good."
He's like focusing.
Like he was, he was like really like intense,
trying to stay hard.
Yeah, trying to stay. I'm sure he was. And so then I took his dick. He started sucking my dick, whatever. And then he's like, "Get on the bed." He's like, "I want you to lay on the bed with your head, like you like you wanted to face fuck me." And so I was like, "Okay." So I'm on the
okay.
Oh no, I was like great. So then I get on my back and I'm like sucking his dick. He's not really face fucking me. He's like still just like focusing on my nipples, but I'm sucking his dick from like upside down, which was like kind of a like the way that he was standing. He's not super tall either. So like
yeah, he's like doing this. Like,
what do you mean?
Like your head is right here.
Yeah.
And then he's going like this.
Well, he's standing. He's standing, and I'm on the bed.
Oh.
And whatever. Like, so, like, he would be like like he could face fuck me, which I thought he was gonna do, and I kind of was into that. But anyway, I was horny as hell because like I was like, he's hot. Like the dick is good. Like dick is nice in person. Like it's not too big, not too small. Like girthy.
You gotta ask for what you want.
Well, here's the thing. So then I'm sucking his dick or whatever, and then I'm like licking his balls, and then he's like at this point squeezing my nipples so hard, and then I would be like kind of like squirming on the bed, and like I'd be like oh, and then I'd be like gentle, and he's like oh okay, because I think at first he thought that I like whenever I would kind of squirm like that meant I was getting like pleasure from it.
Yeah,
and I was like oh no, that like hurts, like you gotta like be gentle. He's like okay, yeah, I'll be gentle, and then he like played with my nipples or whatever, and then he's like 1 second, and then he goes, and behind his bed he has this like baton. And so then I was like, what are you going to do with that? And so then he was like, so then again, he was like over me, has this baton. I'm like sucking his dick. He's like, stopped playing with my nipples, but he's like lightly tapping me all over my body with this baton, like under my balls, like whatever. And I'm like jerking myself off, like whatever. And it felt really nice. Like I've never had that happen to me before. I don't necessarily know what that's called, but I was like
baton play.
I was like, wait. I was like, what is this? And I was like,
big baton, a small baton.
It was long. It was a big black, just like rod, like baton situation.
Yeah.
And then he was just like kind of like tapping me, like whatever, all over. And then he'd like tap my nipples, which were at this point kind of raw from like how much he was like doing to them. And then he puts the baton away and he goes, okay, 1 second.
Oh, he's got more, honey.
He goes to his dresser, and then I'm like, what is he pulling out? And all of a sudden he has 2 clothespins, and then he puts the clothespins on my nipples, and then I'm like, ow. And I was like, you know what, like, listen, I'll try anything once, like I'll try it. Again, my nipples have, at this point, they have no feeling to begin with, but now they certainly have no feeling because I've gone numb there. And then he has the...
You took all the feeling away from your nipples, mama.
Yeah, no, and I was like, whatever. And so then, and there'd be periods of like, whatever, I'm sucking his dick, whatever, from, still I have the clothespins on, and I'm like... playing with his nipples, and he's like like freaking out, and I was like okay, whatever. And then when I had the clothespins on, my dick went soft, like because I just that pain is not pleasurable to me.
Yeah.
And so then he's like okay, he's like you ready? He's like you ready for them to go off? And I'm like yes, like, but I was like playing along. I was like yeah, take them off, like I'm ready. And so then he takes off the clothespins, and then he goes back to his dresser and gets the glass of ice water he got me, and then he was going to go and like just kind of like pour or like dip his fingers in and like play with my nipples, but instead he drops it on me, my face. He spills the ice water on me, and immediately, like, we were all in the moment, it was like hot, whatever, and all of a sudden he goes, oh no. And then I was like, he goes, oh my god, I'm so sorry. He goes, oh, he's like, that's not sexy at all. He's like, oh, of course I have to fuck it up.
He's like,
he was like walking, and then he was like gonna like lean over or something, and like, and I don't know how it happened, but literally the glass like tipped, and he spilled the ice water on my face, and I was like, and he was really kind of beating himself up about it, like he was like so embarrassed, and I was like, and I cracked a joke, and I was like, no, like don't worry about it. I was like, I needed that. I was like to wake up. Pressure, I was like, I'm like it was getting a little hot and heavy. I was like, I need to wake up. I was like, I need the cool water to splash me up or whatever. And he was like, no, it's not sexy at all. He's like, I'm so sorry that happened. Let me go get a towel. And like goes and gets a towel or whatever. And he's like apologizing to me profusely. And I was like, girl, it's not that big of a deal. Also, because by that point the edible had hit.
So you're like,
and I think that's why I was like entertaining it for so long, like some of the nipple stuff, because I was like, listen, like I'm feeling good, like I'm feeling chill, like I'm also like when I get high I get horny. And I was like, whatever, this is fun. Like, I probably wouldn't do this sober. But also that, like, helped get me out of that, like, high a little bit. Like, bring me back to the present moment a little bit. And then we were, like, making out on it. Then he, like, after that happened, he, like, got onto the bed and had me lay down next to him. Oh, my God, I'm burping. And then I started playing with his nipples and giving him attention, and he was like, like he like wouldn't talk, but then I would be like pinching his nipple, and he'd be like, yeah, that's good, yeah. And I was like, okay, like sure.
And he was still hard.
Yeah, and then I started sucking his dick.
See, the water would have been like, all right, I think I'm tired.
Yeah, I know. And then he I was sucking his dick some more. He then sucked my dick a little bit more, and then went back to my nipples. And at this point, my nipples are bright red. Like they have
clearly he was just.
They have been to war.
That's what he wants. Yeah.
Yeah, been to war. He's really into nipples because he made it very clear from the first message. He told me nice nipples and hot pecs, and I said okay. And then one of his tags on his profile is nipples. And I guess I just and I've been with guys who are into nipples, but not to that extent.
He has a fetish for nipples.
Yeah, very much. And so then finally, like, he stopped doing that, and then I was playing with his nipples again, and then he goes, I'm gonna come do it while you do that. And I said, okay, great. So then I was like licking his nipples and like pinching them and like whatever, and then all of a sudden he goes, I'm gonna come, and then he finishes, and he came a lot, and then he like went and got a towel to wipe himself off, and then he goes, okay, he's like, I'm gonna play with your nipples while you jerk yourself off, and I said, okay. And
what, Nick? You gotta learn boundaries.
No, and I was like, I wanted to come too, and I was still hard. Like, I was fully hard. So then all of a sudden he starts going on my nipples, and he's going way too hard. And then I got soft, and I was like it was like I was like shaking like a shake weight at this point, and I was like, I was like, please, but I was nowhere near close. I was like, and so I was like, you have to. I said, I literally stopped him, and I went, you have to be gentle. And he goes, oh yeah, no, of course. And then he like would just start licking them, and then when he was licking them, I was like, okay, that's good. And then I finished. I jerked myself off until I came, and then we like cleaned up whatever, and then I thought like, okay, so we got that out of the way, like the weird sexual tension. Like now he'll probably like talk to me like normal. No, like we finished, and then he like brought me like a towel. I wiped off, and then I'm like getting dressed and stuff, and he had told me that he's seen like the show the next day, and I said, oh, like what show are you seeing? And he was like, oh, yeah, it's this show, and like it says like the name of it, and I said, oh, okay, like cool. Like I said, like, do you see like a lot of theater? And he's like, well, yeah, for my job and whatever. And I was like, oh, very cool. And like, but just like the way that he was talking, like I don't, sometimes like when you do impressions of people, when you're like, yep, like like that kind of thing is like, yep, okay, yep, good, okay, yeah. It was very like short and like whatever. And so then he's like, do you need to use the bathroom? And I said, oh, I should probably before I leave. And he goes, okay, I'm gonna let my dog's gonna come out, but like he's super nice, whatever. The dog comes out, the cutest fucking dog I've ever seen. It's the same kind of breed as Toto from The Wizard of Oz, but he's blonde. And I was like, he was so sweet. He literally like came up to me and he was like, me, and I was like, oh my god.
Goes for your nipples.
No, and I literally, I was stressed by that point. But I literally was like playing with the dog. I was like, he's so cute. And he's like, yeah. He's like, he's a crowd favorite. And I was like, oh my god. Walk into the bathroom to go pee. He has a black and red themed bathroom. Okay. Which I was like, okay. Interesting, does not fit the rest of the theme of the apartment. I said, okay, cute, very dark. And then we like said bye, and then he like he didn't get dressed, like he stayed fully naked, and then he didn't walk me, he like walked me to the door, but like he didn't like kiss me goodbye or anything, because like normally they're like, okay, well, thanks for coming over. It was just like a awkward little like hug situation. And then I was like, yeah, thanks for having a lovely time. He goes, yeah, you should come back sometime. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then he did text me the next day the details to the show that he was seeing. He's like, I'll have to let you know how it is. And I just didn't he sent me the information, and I said, oh, thanks for sharing. And then he goes, I'll have to let you know how it is. And then I just didn't respond. But it was not, I mean, it was a lovely experience. My nipples, though, so sore for the next 2 days. Like, today's the first day that, like, they don't hurt. And I had to put, like, lotion and Aquaphor and whatever on them because they were, oh my god, girl.
Oh, and you know he wanted to go further.
Oh, he wanted to do more.
He had a whole drawer.
I'm sure.
The freaking clothespins. Oh, he had clams.
Mama, that was basic. That's level 1.
He saw you. He was like, he's like,
yeah.
You're like, go gentle. You're like, what? He's like, what?
And I'm like, yeah. Well, because I have no feeling. I was like, it does nothing for me. And then my nipples hurt, and I now understand what it feels like when women breastfeed and they like have raw nipples.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's like it hurts so bad because my mom would always complain when my younger sister, she'd be like, my nipples, they hurt. I'm like, girl, me too now. I get it.
You breastfed him.
I did. And he was trying to squeeze the milk out. And I was like, baby, there is no milk. Baby, there is no plane.
Oh my god, I feel like at that point well, I mean, that's to say, like, I mean, like, last week, like, I experimenting, I did something different, but...
Yeah, you got DP'd.
But that's the thing, I feel like that involves, like, for me, like, anything that involves, like, a penis, I probably will try. I feel like any of the outer stuff, like I know I don't like the nipple stuff.
You don't like pits?
So that would have been pits is fun, but like I don't have like a pit fetish. Like I love like licking an armpit, and I love like smelling it. You know, going through like the motions of that. Like I love like when there's some guys that you can tell they like that. You know, when you go to their pits and you smell it, and they're like, yeah, you like my fucking pits. And so when guys like that, I'm like, okay, like it's like yes anding for in bed, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm yes anding. So like if I smell their piss and I feel like they're like into it, then like I go to their crotch and like, you know, like I'm sniffing around. They're like, oh yeah, I fucking like the smell of my cock. And I'm like, yeah.
I like licking the gooch.
The good, the good.
Because they freak out when you do that. They're like, oh, that feels so good. Yeah.
Depends. I don't know. Depends. But I also am not like a ball player.
Oh, I love balls. I'll lick a ball.
I love pink.
I love pink.
I love pink.
But no, I'm pretty vanilla too. Like I will say like.
That's the thing though. Like I feel like you've been experimenting more with like fetishes, I would say.
Yeah, recently.
And like it's been, I think, it says a lot about you that you're willing to do that. Because I feel like now, like I think I've already established the things that I like. Yeah. And things that I would try. I don't think like I would have been like if. Yeah, how like the clothes fucking pins would have come out. I've been like, nah.
I give it the good old college try. You know what I mean? But that's like the thing is like I now know that that's not something that I'm super into. So like I don't necessarily think I'd do it that extensively again.
I saw Nick the day after at work, and like I touched you. I don't know how I randomly like just patted you on the chest.
You like swung at me. You like get away or something, and I was like, ow!
And then I was like, oh no! And so I had an inkling it had something to do with nipples. But I'm actually in my head I was thinking it was gonna be something like once the baton came out, I was like, oh,
he's gonna stick that up your hole.
Well, I was expecting you to go in a swing bed, you know, get on the bed.
Oh.
This guy. This guy did not show you a room that he has. Because this man definitely has a fucking toy room.
He spends most of his time on Long Island. So, like, he has this apartment when he comes into the city. And, like...
For work, I guess?
For work, every now and again to, like, see shows and things. But I saw everything it wasn't even, like, a one-bedroom. It's more so, like, a studio that we were in. So, like, I think he had more... like toys that he didn't show me or whatever, but in terms of just like I don't think he had a swing or whatever. Maybe on his in his place on Long Island or whatever.
Oh yeah,
but
he's a whole feature
for sure. But
and see in that level, I would be much more open.
I could function a swing.
Yeah, I would be much open to the play of it all. I think because it involves like still sex, you know.
Yeah.
But as far as like me getting like whipped or like chained or anything like that, really wouldn't do it for me, and like I wouldn't really enjoy it.
Yeah. Getting whipped, no. I do like getting spanked every now and again, but I've gotten...
Yeah, but some guys don't know how to do it.
No, some guys don't know how to do it, and there was this one guy that I used to fuck a lot in college who would spank me so hard that I would have, like, a handprint bruise.
Well, that's kind of sexy.
Yeah, but, like, it got to the point where, like, I wouldn't be able to sit down on the toilet to take a shit because it would be so painful.
And then you texting me, like, I can't shit.
No, I don't like that.
Oh my god, I'm taking a shit right now. You're just hurt.
My biggest kink is I want someone to fuck me, look at me in the eyes, and tell me they love me.
Which, spoiler alert, they won't.
Well, maybe.
It did happen to me. Oh my god. But that was his kink.
That was his kink.
But
I want them to mean it. I don't want it to. I don't want it to just be like some kink that they say.
Or somebody who like fucks butt, and let me tell you,
butt punch. Do you butt punch?
Butt punch. Comment down below if you have been butt punched. I like butt punch.
Title of that: Do you butt punch? Do you butt punch? Because someone once messaged me that they're like, I want to punch your butt.
No, I mean I get that too. You know, I want to punch it. And I'm like, okay.
That was the first time I'd ever heard it, and I was like, what are you on?
You're not gonna punch it. But I feel like a lot of guys that don't know how to spank, they do this thing like. They do that, and I'm like, no, like it's not a direct.
You have to go like up.
It's not a handshake. It's like a swing. You know,
like a swipe up.
Yeah, it's like it's like a spank up.
Like you would on an Instagram story, swipe up.
Yeah, it's like you gotta go like that. So and because you know, especially. Well, I mean, now it is embarrassing. Oh my god, when you watch porn and like they're trying to spank the poor twink with no ass, and this is coming. I mean, I don't have a big ass, but like I have an ass for sure. Like
I have one. Mine's wide.
Because mine is there. I'm not saying like we've talked about this already. I'm not saying I have a huge ass, but I have an ass for sure. Like it jiggles, like it's doing stuff.
Oh, mine jiggles.
So when guys like spank it, and they're like,
jiggles.
oh, like And I like it when like they do the whole thing where like they're like, well, whatever. Okay.
When I was getting fucked on Saturday, I told this to Peru already, but the sound of my ass cheeks slapping against him when he was pounding me, I've only had that experience a couple of times because like I usually don't get fucked hard enough by like a dude for that to happen. But I was like, damn, we think as fuck.
Well, yeah, yeah, but also again, as we discussed, like he had the power to do that because he wasn't like fully like you were able to do that because he wasn't that big.
Yeah, but like I've also done it with big men. The one that you're maybe having a threesome with, my ass was slapping and jiggling and clapping.
He already done disclosed that he likes it rough and like he does.
Oh, and
trust and believe, he showed me to talk about visual learning. He I got the full tutorial. Like I know. Exactly
I learned by
what he's
doing.
looking for.
I learned by doing.
Oh, I was just a natural.
Well, I learned with him by doing, but anyway.
You learned with him and then he was like, all right, there you go. Another one I taught.
The one I did sex work for Domino's.
Well, I almost had sex last night, and I was telling you, I was texting us, it was happening.
Oh wait, I thought you were gonna go over to his place.
Well, it was happening, and then he fell asleep, and then he was like, this morning was like, I'm so sorry, like I was talking to you, and then I was so tired because he's visiting from LA.
Was he chit chatting you up while you were at work?
Yeah, well, he started me while I was at work. He like tapped me.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, and he's very cute. Like I shared with Nick like the Twitter because like he's kind of like a Twitter gay, like in like the journalism space, I guess. Yeah, like 20,000 and he is very, 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 very good looking, and also British, also living in LA, and also visiting.
Very white bread, I would say, but that's your type.
Honey,
that's your type. So
no, but I mean, I don't like it sometimes when you say that because like, of course, yeah, do I love a vanilla boy, white bread? Yes, like Nantucket, of course. Like,
well, that's you being like you love the old geriatric bitch. Which is not.
But I mean, yeah, but that is true. So
you love a vanilla white boy, though.
Yeah, but I mean, I also do it all.
Same as well. When we went to Mia's birthday and we were and then you were trying to. We were like talking in there, and then the group was like, "Oh, what's your type?" And then Prue comes in. He loves them all. I was like, "Shut up! I'm trying to suck their dick. Let me live."
Oh my god, that was so funny. Oh, we didn't even talk about that, but
we can't because they might listen.
No, I understand, but I will say I guess I can share this before we go into like a tiny little like wrap up town hall suggestion. And by the way, while we're at it, if you're watching this visual learner, click the subscribe button. We're almost at 1,000. We really love you guys. Thank you for supporting. Comment. But I was talking to him and Mia, who was the birthday girl, and Thomas. We were sitting on the couch at this bar, and people like were dancing and everything. And I told Nick, I was like, tonight, like, I want to get fucked. So, like, and funny enough, like, I had recorded at Nick's place, and we had recorded last week's episode, and I had my backpack with me, which is not ideal to go out with, but, like, it ended up being okay to have it, because I just put it aside. Mm-hmm. And then Nick sometimes I feel like is surprised by, like, what I will do. Like, I don't cease to surprise Nick sometimes with my behaviors, and not necessarily, I at least don't feel like I'm surprising you, like, in a bad way. I feel like I'm always giving you a surprise of Peru, like, oh, like, this is my sister.
Wait, what did you do? I don't remember.
Oh, I remember when I was like, oh my god, like, oh, I'm gonna get ready because I felt like we had met these people that there was a potential to like get fucked by, and like, Nick and I for once our Venn diagram coincided, and we're like, oh, like, are we maybe perhaps interested in the same people? Mm-hmm. And so at that point I was like, okay, well, Nick, just so you know, like, I will make a move. And I was trying to give my sister Nick, because I'm such a good friend, I was like, okay, I'll let you choose which one, because like I'll do whichever. And I think my sister was just like, well, I'm just gonna wait. And I was like, well, just so you know, by waiting, just by default, that means that like you're not gonna get it, because I'll go for it. And I think Nick was just like, whatever. And then I was like, okay, so we had like a heart to heart at the gig. We're like, okay, well, listen, like, you do that and I'll do the other. And we were going to go to this place in Williamsburg called Animal, in which there was going to be a dark room. And so I was like, oh, like, if we're going to be going somewhere that will perchance have a dark room, like, I want to be prepared because I'm really horny today. And so out of nowhere, I had already expressed to Nick earlier, I was like, yeah, I'll probably just get ready at the bar. And he was like, LOL, oh, we're at the bar, and I'm like, okay, I'll be right back, and like I leave, he's talking to people, I come back, and Nick's like, where did you go? And I was like, I went to go douche in the bathroom. He's like, you douche in the fucking bathroom of the bar? And I was like, yeah, I did.
Way faster than I probably would have done
because
it.
I already, like, prepped, done the pre-work, and then I just went there. And mind you, was there a line? Yes. But were the two individually, like, private, like, restroom stalls, whatever? They were. So, like, it was easy. And it was, like, at this point, it was, like, dance central. Like, it was, like, it was basically, like a dance bar. And so, at that point, I was, like, I wasn't really, like, self-conscious about, like, how long I was taking, because everyone is taking there forever, because like, everyone's doing coke, and everyone's just, like, doing whatever. So then I just came out like proudly with like my backpack like Dora. I was like, come on, vamonos, let's go get pounded out.
And then when we went to Animal, you like Prue was like, where's the dark room? Where's the dark room? Where's the dark room? I want to see it. And then we like walked around, and then Prue was like, wait, I don't think they have one. And I go, no, I think it's in that back space over there. And sure enough, Prue like goes over, like walks around, looks into, and he goes, oh, that's the dark room. And then he comes back and he goes,
see, that's a bad impression of you. I would never go and be like, yeah. No, I was just like, yep, that's it. And guess what, townspeople?
You were like, drunk. We were both drunk.
We weren't. Girl, at that point, we hadn't even gone to Macri Park and returned. Like,
no, that was after Macri Park.
We weren't that drunk. Because at that point, I was like, oh, it's there. But I remember being like, okay, Nick, come on, let's go see it. I wanted Nick to see it. And Nick literally just stood by the door like, no.
I was like, I'm good, actually. And then Prue was like, go into the dark room. Go look right now. And I was like, girl, I'm good. I don't need to see that.
I wasn't that aggressive. I was just wanting you to come.
No, but you were like, come on, go look.
And mind you, can you please replay that, rewind that 10 seconds? Because the telling of how I asked him was completely different both those times. So just so you know, I wasn't being mean and aggressive like he displayed it the first time. I was just being like, come on, Nick.
That was just my perception.
Oh, sure. Perception is not reality, mama.
That's my reality.
And guess what? I did stay in the dark room. Nick famously did leave.
Because it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I got home at 3:30. I went to bed at 4 a.m.
Packed.
What, the dark room?
And there were 2 people that didn't know me. And then I was like, I don't know where I know you're from, but I was like, hello.
Oh.
Remember the bathroom line?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yes.
Well, because in the bathroom line, oh my god. So the bathroom.
For which Nick needs to use an individual bathroom.
I need to use a stall because the urinal situation at Animal is just like the stadium style trough.
The trough, yeah.
And also, when you were in there, I was still in line, and like, there's 2 like entrances. There's like no door to like enter into like where the urinals are. Like, you just see everyone just standing there, and some guy like goes to the very end, like walks in, and then just like leans his head over and looks down at everybody's dicks just like out, and he's just like looking like, okay, like just like taking stock of what's there. And I was like, gay people. And then in front of me in line, there was like one guy, and then there was this couple that were shirtless, and they were drunk.
Everyone was shirtless.
Not everybody.
Everyone in line for the bathroom was shirtless.
I would say 25% of the attendees were shirtless. It wasn't that many. Most of them were dressed. But, like, the 2 in front of me were shirtless. And they were certainly they were drunk, and they were certainly on, like, Molly or something. Because, like, they were just, like, so, like, happy and just, like, whatever.
And you're like, oh, they must have been on Molly. Because why else would they be happy at the bar? Maybe they were just happy to be there.
They were giving that they were on drugs. They were giving that they were on drugs.
Based on your looks, mama, you're on drugs.
Yeah.
Back to attack.
Finasteride. Prep. Those are the drugs that I'm on. Thank you very much. And so...
Dark.
Well, yeah, because it's raining.
I know, like, we're in the dark right now.
Okay, so then anyway, so there was one guy in front of them, and they were, like, practically having sex in line, and I was like, no, they're gonna go in that stall, and they're gonna fuck, and they're gonna take fucking forever. I have to pee so bad, and, like, I want to call an Uber and go home. Like, no. And thankfully, the single man who, like, went to the bathroom alone was very quick in and out of the bathroom, because then by the time I, like, had gotten into the stall, pissed, got out, those 2, like, muscle gays were still in the bathroom. I'm sure 1 doing coke, and then 2 fucking each other's brains out, which, happy for them. I was like, girl, you found love in a hopeless place.
Probably one or the other, because let me tell you.
They're not doing both?
Those things are, I mean, once you do too much of one, you can't do the other, so...
If you have too much sex, you can't do coke?
If you're having too much coke, you can't have sex.
Well, yeah.
Famously, they can't get it up.
Well, that's what happened with me one time with one of my hookups that I had when I
Meth
lived.
guy?
No, when I lived on the Upper
Meth
East
guys.
Side. When I lived on the Upper East Side, shortly thereafter, I had like a major heartbreak with that friend who did
Oh,
not
you talked about this.
Yeah, who did not feel the same way. He would come
He
to my
brought you
apartment.
over, yeah.
He would come. No, he'd come over to my place after he'd go out with friends all the time, high on
No,
coke.
the other one that in Bushwick, that like he brought you to his place with the roommate and like he couldn't get it up because he was acting so weird. He made you buy a drink, remember?
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't on coke, but this is.
Oh, he was. Based on that story, Mama. Oh, he was like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Oh, well, maybe. I don't know. But then this other guy that I used to like hook up with, shortly after a major heartbreak, he was kind of like my rebound, and he would come over to my apartment every time he'd go out with friends, and he'd buy like coke from like random dudes off the street, and I'm like, I was like, girl, fentanyl, be careful, and he was like, no, it's fine, and then he'd like come make out with me, and then my mouth would go numb because he'd rub the coke on like his gums or whatever before he like got to my place, and so I didn't like that. But then we never had sex because he could never stay hard because he was always on coke, but also he was on antidepressants, and so I only like really, I really only like hooked up with him for real once, like anything sexual. I like sucked his dick to completion, and then he was like, he's like, I haven't been able to come with somebody like in months because of my antidepressants. He's like, you're the first person I've come with in like months, and I was like, okay, I'm good. And then I made a TikTok, like I made a joke that I now use in my stand-up, and he saw it and he sent it to me. And he goes, is this about me? And I was like, maybe. He still came over though. I
would have been like, no, I have sex with many depressed people.
Yeah.
Why else would I have sex with you?
Everybody's medicated these days, Mama. You're not special.
Anyway, that was a really fun time, actually. That night was really fun. Nick stayed out. We haven't even talked about this. Oh my God, that literally just happened. We didn't even think about discussing this. Nick, he stayed out the longest he's been out ever. He stayed out till 3 in the morning.
The longest since I was like a junior in college.
And actually, hold for applause for this one for sure. Congratulations. And I think now I know how to get Nick to stay out later. See, townspeople, the trick to get Nick to stay out is to give him an idea that somebody's interested in him, and so he will stay out. Not to hit on the person, not to make a move, not to make a connection or ask for a phone number. No, Nick will just go along for the ride and just hope for the best. He'll just he'll just hope for the person to like make the move or talk to him. But either way, it doesn't matter.
I don't chase, I attract.
Crickets.
And you know what? I don't give a fuck.
No, but it was so funny because like Nick was so tantalized by the idea of, as he calls it, something being able to happen, quote unquote, that like he was down for the ride. I was like, wow, we were going from stop to stop. We went from that one bar to check out the line there. We went to Macri Park, talked to some 2 other questionable individuals. Watch of them,
which I only did for context, really quick. We went to Macri Park because the line for animal.
Shout out Macri.
Yeah, love it there. We went because the line for animal was too long, and we're like, okay, let's just not wait, like whatever.
Pay your cover.
Yeah. So then I paid your cover at Macri Park.
Oh, and I paid the cover at Animal. Yes,
yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So it balanced out. Thank you very much. Don't try to drag me. Fucking bitch. So then we go to Macri Park, and then we do a drink, and then there was a drag show that was like finishing up, and we're like, yeah, support the girls. And then we went outside to like finish like the rest of our drink or whatever in the outdoor little space in front of the bar, and then all of a sudden this like faggot and this other guy come and sit down, and it was a guy that Peru had seen earlier during the drag show, and he was like, oh, wait, he's hot. Wait, he was like, wait, I think he might be non-binary because he has no eyebrows. Remember you said that?
Yeah, but then also that was the only thing about him that was non-binary. No eyebrows. No, I didn't say non-binary. I said drag queen.
Oh, drag queen.
I said drag queen. I was
like,
he might be a drag queen because he looks cute, Bushwick guy, whatever. And then I was like, he probably puts on a wig.
So then we were like sitting on these like couches or whatever, and then the one that Prue was interested in sat down next to him, and then this like queenie like femme like love her down queen sits down next to me. And I was like, okay, listen, Prue is interested in this man. I will play nice with his friend. We'll chit chat for whatever in case Prue's going to try to go home with him, because I thought that was the final stop for the evening. And so then I'm like chit chatting with this gay person who was just yapping their gams. And I was like, honestly, thank God, because like I would rather have that than like a situation where it's just awkward and we're like trying to make conversation and it's just like not flowing. Like that person was just like talking. I was like, okay, I'll listen and I'll interject every now and again. And I'd look over and I see Peru, my sister, chatting with this man or whatever, and I was like, okay. And then there comes a point where then Peru like has like the conversation like joined together shift. Yeah, so we're all talking with each other. And then he makes a comment being like, "Oh, so I heard he's straight." And I thought you were joking at first. And then this gay person was like, "Oh yeah, I think so." And then they're like all chatting, and all of a sudden this straight man gets up and like walks away. And I was like, "Okay, whatever." And then we're like chit chatting and stuff with the three of us. And then he comes back, whatever. And then all of a sudden Prue goes, "Oh." He like looks at his phone and he goes, "Oh wait, oh, the people that we were planning on meeting at Animal." He was like, "Oh, they're waiting for us. They're there. Like they want to meet up." And I was like, "Oh, they do?" I was like, "Wait, yeah, okay." I had no idea. We get up and we leave. We go around the corner. And he goes, "I just need an excuse to get out of that."
Yeah, it was so stupid, and it was so funny because I just kept looking at Nick. We were on the same page. I was like, "Nick, like you're bonding with this fucking fag, I guess." Because once the guy told me he was straight, again, cut to the few episodes ago, the conversation with Julius with that guy. I was like, "Oh, you're straight," and then I was like, "Do you dabble? Ever done anything? Do you want to do anything?" He said, "No," and I was like, "Okay, well, I'm not interested." And then he was so focused on just like getting more coke. I started clocking that he was like a little bit like coked out. And I was like, oh, so like he went from like cute to not cute at all. And like what's worse than being not cute, straight. I was like, oh.
See, and I had no idea this was all happening. I thought I was just being a good friend by chit-chatting with this person. I just kept looking
at Nick. I was like, yeah.
And I had no idea. I was like I was drunk enough where I had no idea that was going on. And I was just like, I'm going to let her get her dick. Like, you do you, girl. And then we like walked around the corner and he was like, oh yeah, no, they didn't message me at all. Like, I just wanted to get out of that. And I was like, oh, got it. Okay, cool.
But I ended up going to that dark room with Animal, and I just sucked a good dick, and I pulled a Nick and just sucked it, nothing else. Tried to get him to fuck me, and
he didn't finish.
Like, no. But we were. But I mean, it was nice. Yeah, okay. It was nice. But that was what occurred, and then
were people coming in the dark room?
No, I mean, didn't say it long enough to really know. But like, really, it really wasn't. To be honest, like Animal Dark Room, I would say like 3 out of 10. Like, it really wasn't giving. It wasn't a good enough space. The quality of people, I feel like it was just kind of like meh. It was not the best.
I also, the reason I didn't go into the dark room, like I was curious for sure, but like I also was just like whatever. The clientele there is definitely not my vibe. It's like similar to like Soho House in terms of like those types of people. I feel like there's a lot of people who don't live in Brooklyn that are going to Animal because it's like new. It's like a new gay bar.
It's like the city of Williamsburg, you know, like Exley and Animals, like where they all know where to go.
Well, yeah. And like Exley is, I've said it before, it's not really my vibe either. I go because my sister loves it and like whatever. But like,
and the girlies.
Yeah. And like, but I will say it does kind of draw a kind of catty gay crowd that I am not obsessed with. And so when we went into Animal, it was a lot of that. I mean, it was a good mix. Like there were, and that's not saying that it's reflective of the entire, you know, population that goes there. But I will say the ones that were coming in and out of the dark room were certainly ones that I was like, oh, no, you look mean.
No, yeah, the one that I sucked his dick, he must have been, I mean, he was uncut, and I think he was Middle Eastern, and I can say that. No,
can you?
No, but I mean, he had, like, those features. He had, like, the like, you know, like, a really, like, a curly beard, like, he had a little bit of an accent. I couldn't really clock if he was Latin American or of the sorts. I guess I'll call him ethnically ambiguous. He definitely wasn't from here, just like I am not from here, so I can say that. But it was a good time. Anyway, wow. And it's sorry, y'all, townspeople, visual learners who are watching this. It went from like daytime to not because it started pouring rain outside, and now we had to turn the light on. It looks like it's dark, but it's not. It's like 6:30 p.m.
Oh my god, it's not gonna stop for like another hour. I'm gonna be stuck here.
No.
Why, are you trying to kick me out?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you have a Pioneer Trailblazer?
Oh my god. My Pioneer and Trailblazer is... Oh, and by the way, before we get to Pioneer and Trailblazers, we just used a couple of our town halls from the suggestions of the townspeople. Continue submitting. We did get a couple emails, but I will say not nearly enough. And I don't know if you guys are just not into emailing. But me, as the leader of the town myself, I'm thinking... maybe we can do like Google form if that's going to be more convenient for people. But so far, pioneersandtrailblazers@gmail.com if you want to send us a long town hall, a suggestion. But we are going to be collecting those because we need them. If you guys want to have some content for hiatus, the 4 weeks we're going to be out, then we need your suggestions. Because if we don't have suggestions, then we ain't going to have anything to talk about. And Nick's dying for that. So don't satisfy Nick. Well, yeah, I'm airing your tea, mama. Airing your tea.
Wow.
I'm looking for the townspeople. Anyway.
What's your Pioneer, bitch?
My biggest obsession right now is a food item. unlike me. But it is the mamitas. I don't know if there's any like Latinx people or anyone who like are born New Yorkers who are familiar with mamitas, the cream based like sickles, the like ice bars. So like I would even pull one out, but now it's in the fridge. But they're like ice creams, like popsicles, kind of like that come in like those tubes. How do you call them in English? Like the frozen
popsicle,
frozen popsicles, I guess. That come in like the tubes. How do you call them?
Like,
freeze pops.
Like it's liquid when you buy. Like
it's like freeze pops, but you don't buy them liquid. They already come frozen. And they're from a brand called Mamitas. They're like based in New York. No, but they just come in anything. Anyway, they're like frozen ice cream treats that come in like
is it
tubes.
ice cream?
Some are cream based and some are ice based, but they have different. And it's like Latin known, and it's meant to like bring nostalgia from like the kinds of like creams and sickles that we had in like South America and Central America. So anyway, mamitas, I literally went to the bodega and just bought like 12 of them literally because they're like I wanted to stock on them because it's so hot lately, and I've been like chowing down on guava, passion fruit. I've been like doing like coke. I've been like fuck. It's my summer craze right now. So
okay, my trailblazer for the week is gonna be Delusions of Grandeur. Because I think it's fun sometimes to just be crazy.
Sometimes.
No, my real trailblazer is gonna be I bought a new top coat for my nails for painting them, and because there's what are you gonna say? You gonna say something mean? What are you gonna say? Please, I would love to know.
I just like the way that you were like, I bought a new top coat of nail polish for my nails, and you're like, to paint them. And I was like, yeah, we know it's to paint them, not. And I was gonna say no, to asphyxiate yourself.
Well, girl, drink it maybe. No, because there's this TikTok account called Vintage Dusties that like she like shows off like vintage nail polish or whatever, and like revives like vintage nail polish that she like buys on eBay. Anyway, she's been showing up on my For You page a lot recently, and every time she uses old like nail polish, it's sometimes kind of like chunky or whatever, but then she always uses this like SE gel top coat, and I was like, oh, and it like makes her nails look, the nail polish look so smooth and cool, like good. And so I went to Walgreens like last week or whatever, and I saw that they had that specific gel top coat, and I was like, oh, but it's not really gel, it's like a gel like a finish when it dries. And so anyway, I bought it, and it made my nails look really nice. But anyway, I was doing a lot with my hands today, and so my nails got fucked up, so I have to repaint them. So it only really lasted a week. But that is my trailblazer, as well as Delusions of Grandeur.
I'm excited to see the result of that, because it'll be really enlightening to see what it looks like. I will say, I can't believe that. So today is what's today? The second. No? Yeah, the second.
There's a new moon on Sunday, which will have already happened by the time that this airs.
Oh my god. So there's technically 3 episodes before we go on hiatus. But then I was going to say we need to record on the 25th.
Well, we can figure this out off the pod, not recording.
No, but I want to let you all know, because I want to make sure that, like, as in honor, because I wanted to have a special, our 52nd episode. We started after I came back from P-Town last year, and you had just been doing what you were doing. And I wanted us to have a recap, because that'll literally be like a couple, like I'll come back into town on the 24th, late night, early morning of the 25th. But then like the 25th, I'm probably going to have to work, and maybe I'll call out. But we have to figure out a way to try to get something else so we can recap, and it can be like full circle, like from where we started. Like, it'd be really cute. Don't y'all think?
Anyway, you can follow us on Pioneers and Trailblazers on Instagram. YouTube, subscribe if you're a visual learner, please. We're so close to 1,000. Please. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever. You can follow Peru at @HeyPeru on TikTok and Instagram, and @HeyPeru_ on Twitter. You can follow me at Nicholas.Rose on Instagram, ClownfaceBinch on TikTok, and ClownfaceBitch on Twitter.
Oh my god, so we're at 921 from like 915 from last week on Spotify. So we've got townspeople. Can we make it? We need 79 more followers before we reach 1,000. 79. I think we can do it in 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
I believe in the towns.
Bye.
It's raining hard, girl.
I know, I'm scared.